You don't have to believe in God to recognize a good idea, not even if there are 10 of them. Shalom, my friends. Yes, 10 famous great ideas that we know as the 10 Commandments. I want to suggest that even if you don't believe in God,
well, I knew we had a couple of pinkos in this house, but I didn't know we had atheists.
I think you have to acknowledge that the 10 Commandments make a pretty good basis for a healthy society. An atheist rejects the divine origin of the 10 Commandments, which I accept. An atheist may view them as an ancient human attempt to build an orderly society rather than words delivered from God. I don't agree. But that disagreement doesn't erase the wisdom contained in the 10 Commandments. Consider what kind of world the 10 Commandments envision. They say you shall not murder. Should human life not be treated as disposable?
No.
They say you shall not steal. Should people just be allowed to take what others have worked for?
No. No.
They say you shall not bear false witness. Justice depends on truth. Should we allow testimony and promises and public speech to become meaningless?
No.
And those are just 3 examples of principles that are not exclusively religious. They are the foundations of trust, and without trust, communities will ultimately collapse. Laws can punish wrongdoing after it happens, but a healthy society needs something deeper. People who believe that certain actions are wrong, even if they could get away with doing them. Other commandments might sound more religious, but they also contain insights that have universal value. The commandment against idolatry warns us not to make anything absolute. Even without believing in literal idols, we know that people can worship money or power or fame, even themselves. Whenever something comes so sacred that we stop questioning it, human beings tend to suffer. And then there is the Sabbath, one day when work must stop. In the 10 Commandments, that extends not only to the powerful, but also to the disenfranchised, to servants, to laborers, to animals. That is a remarkably humane principle. A person's value cannot be measured only by productivity. Employers should not own every hour of a worker's life. Even the economy must sometimes yield to human dignity. Honor your father and mother reminds us that freedom should not eliminate gratitude. We didn't create ourselves. A stable society depends upon generations accepting responsibilities towards one another. Parents caring for children, children respecting parents, and communities honoring those who came before while still correcting their mistakes. Finally, consider the commandment against coveting. Modern law can prohibit theft, but it can't regulate every desire that leads to theft. This commandment asks us to examine the inner source of destructive behavior, envy, resentment, and the belief that we cannot be content while someone else possesses more. It teaches that a better world requires not only better laws, but also better developed character. Now, obviously, the Ten Commandments are not a complete legal system, nor do they address every modern ethical question. But they do offer a remarkably concise moral framework: respect for life, protection of relationships, telling the truth, honoring obligations, restraining greed, recognizing the value of rest, and refusing to turn anything into a god. So an atheist doesn't have to say, God commanded these things. They only need to ask, what would happen if more people lived by them? Fewer murders, fewer betrayals, less theft and deception, more gratitude, more rest, more self-restraint, and more trust. Whether one regards the Ten Commandments as divine revelation, as I do, or simply ancient moral wisdom, a world that took their central principles seriously would be a safer, more honest, and more humane world. And that is something believers and atheists alike should be able to acknowledge. Would you agree that whether they're divine or of human origin, the Ten Commandments would make this world better if more of us follow them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments box below the video. I hope you find this video worthy of serious consideration. If you do, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. That helps us to get the video in front of more viewers. And of course, the most important thing you can do is become a subscriber to the Rabbi Study, which costs nothing and is very simple to do. If you're logged into YouTube and you want to subscribe, just click on my face right over here. Or if you'd like, watch another video by clicking on its icon right over there. As ever, until next time, Shabbat Shalom.